Greetings, courageous, powerful, and brilliant women. My name is Liddell Lewis, and I'm the managing editor for Courageous Women magazine, as well as a likability expert. Don't you like me? Thank you for coming out for the Empower Players Conference titled Write the Vision. You may wonder, what's Courageous Women magazine? It's your magazine. Courageous Women magazine is an inspirational publication that highlights extraordinary women. We provide a platform to help women promote their brand, their business, their services, and their books. No gossip, no foolishness, just strictly helping other women. So if you would like more information, please contact us at information or info at courageous.com. So this conference, we're talking about empower players. What is an empower player? An empower player is an authentic, confident, driven woman who is dedicated to using her platform to inspire, educate, and empower others. In short, empowered women empower other women in word as well as in deed. So we have some women that took the time out today to empower you. Dr. Cortesha. Dr. Cortesha is focused on teen moms. And she's CEO of Mothers Helping Mothers, Inc. So as a female entrepreneur, she's building an empire to help teen mothers and women all over the globe. So clearly, Dr. Cortesha is an empowered player. Dr. Cortesha, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes. Hello. Hello,
All right.
everyone. First, I just want to thank Talisha. She's always given us some dope platforms to be on, and I just so blessed to be connected to her. And today was, bittersweet for me. I kept saying I'm gonna push through. I canceled my Queen's Connection talk show that I do twice a month for the month of April, and I just was gonna call myself laying low. But when God whispers in your ear, it's time to do something. You got to do it. So when she sent it and said, we're still doing the movement, it's just going online, I was like, okay, God, put me together. I gotta get out here and let the world know that we can still do what we need to do. So today I'm talking about staying on course. And I got that from a friend, Beverly. She was all over me a couple weeks ago, and she was like, Dr. Cowan, you always stay the course anyway, and I don't understand why you just don't give the juice or tell people how they can stay the course. And I feel like it started for me as a child, as a young girl, getting the name Tisha Mama. I had to stay the course as a kid. And when I say that, I mean that, coming from a small town like Ohio, trying to do stuff to keep the young cousins and my little sister, not knowing what's going on in our households, trying to keep us focused. So we used to play church in the garage, and that was my way of staying the course as a kid. Moving to Columbus, Ohio at 19 years old with 2 children. I was a teen mother, and that's why I focus on teen moms. But I moved to Columbus at 20 in 2000, and I was 19 years old, going on 20. And God called me into childcare. And so I've always loved children. So I was like, okay, move it to Columbus, let's write the vision. Today is about what does that vision look like once you write it. And so I'm just going to walk you through a couple little things that made me understand what the vision looked like for me. I caught vision early. Most of my journey started in my early 20s. So at 20, when I went into the child care center, it was an actual organization that was building her daycare from the ground up. And she was from Venezuela. I thank God for my very first daycare, because it taught me a lot about going into the child care world. I wear so many hats, but that's one hat I enjoy wearing, is being a child care owner. So going into that program and helping in that area, in about 2003, I started a child care center on the south side of Columbus. And I turned it into a child care center. And the reason why it was so heavy on my heart is because I went into medical school. So I was like, okay, God, I'm doing child care. Now you want me to stay the course on doing child care, but it's something that I guess I had to get from going into medical school. And so I went into medical school. And I started watching women just drop out, and they were dropping out due to not having childcare. And so that was heavy on me. I was like, man, this is such an easy 16 months. You could come out with this associate's degree. I mean, what can we do? Can we all just gather together, maybe start babysitting each other's kids? And so you can't always get other people to grab the vision or the course that God is taking you. So I decided to launch a childcare center on the south side of Columbus. Put a lot of dollars with 2 other people into this facility. And so this is where I learned where, what I'm about to say now is where I learned where perseverance and staying the course came in. Because at that point I had to open this childcare center, but something happened in the midst of trying to open this childcare center. After taking an old bank and turning it into a daycare center. Now, you know how much anybody in the childcare world know it takes a lot to turn a bank into a childcare center. So we did that, and we were successful at turning it into the childcare center. I decided to go to Columbus State to grab a CDA really quick. In the midst of that, the building was double leased out to another individual. All of my business plans, everything was left inside it. We both had keys to the building. So it was almost like I was about to fight over it. And I was like, you know what, God, maybe you taking me into a different direction. And absolutely he was. Moved into a house in Bexley, Ohio, where I decided to just open an in-home daycare. Wasn't going to keep fighting for the building. I knew what God showed me what to do. So I knew now I had perseverance on how to open a childcare center, but he was going to take me on a whole nother level of staying the course. And by doing that, when I moved into my building, when I moved into my house in Bexley, I started watching teenage girls' babies. I was a second and third shift childcare center. Now, as a teen mom, having my son at 16 years old, still running track, still a cheerleader, still graduating high school, I had no idea what it looked like to cuss or fuss at a 1-year-old and think they will understand what I'm saying to them. And so I used to ask the girls, like, why are you so upset? Like, when you pick this baby up, when you drop the baby off, you upset. When you pick the baby up, you upset. Like, I want to know what's the problem. And so as I started to talk to these girls, they basically started to tell me that either they were homeless, they didn't have diapers, they didn't have wipes, they didn't have the essential items that they needed for their child. Broke my heart. Once again, here's a 24-year-old, like, God, well, what am I supposed to do? And so that's when I birthed the hand-to-hand blessing free store. I basically just put a little area in my basement, started collecting items and giving it to the girls as they needed. Behold, staying the course, he was taking me in a whole nother direction. One day I was sitting at a friend's house and I'm like, you know, I'm watching these kids at home, but I know there's so much more I should be doing. And we actually, my friend Lisa and Sherry, we were actually watching a movie, Waiting to Exhale. We all love Waiting to Exhale. But at the part where they were hugging at the end, God just downloaded Mothers Helping Mothers. And I said, oh my God, what is that? What is this about to look like? In less than 24 hours, he allowed me to get the downloads I needed to then launch a program called Mothers Helping Mothers. Went into a facility with no funds, just believing God, trusting God, talked to a landlord and said, hey, I need this building. I need about 6 months free rent so I can see if I can do what I need to do. At the time, I wasn't a 501c3. I just wanted to do God's work. I wanted to help these girls. I wanted to, you know, do as much as I can. So I called on a couple of my sisters and I'm like, y'all, we got to open up this building. They looking at me like I'm crazy, but I always heard perseverance, stay the course, perseverance. So what that meant to me was no matter what it looked like for me, I had to keep going. And so building after building, we wasn't moving out of these buildings because the rent wasn't paid. It was other things that would happen. Fires happen or the landlord selling the building or whatever it was, but I stayed the course. And by doing that, Mothers Helping Mothers launched in a 194,000 square foot facility about 3 years after we got in our very first building. No funding coming in, just using the child care center money at the time. I was able to open a child care center in that facility. So using the child care facility is how I started to end up creating a social enterprise. And by that, I mean, you know, if there was no grants, no loans, or no money coming in, I was still going to stay the course that God told me to stay on helping these girls. And so being an African American female. At this time, I'm now a nonprofit. We were able to get the facility, have an HIV/STD testing clinic, a birthing center, where we was able to birth businesses for these girls, got them on a track to be able to do that. We also had a daycare center downstairs. Magic Johnson's Bridge Cake was through the double door, so we also gave high school. And I just kept, you know, there were roadblocks after roadblocks. Things happened with the city of Columbus. Things happened with just different people who were coming in and out the facility, grabbing a vision, thinking they can take it and, you know, move around with it. But God said, stay the course. And so all of the years that we continued to stay the course, 14 years later, Mothers Helping Mothers have now helped over 30,000 girls in the state of Ohio, with either clothing, coming to our daycare center, getting diapers and wipes, coming to our Christmas program, getting coached by us. And I've had some major women stick beside me this whole time, making sure that not only did I stay the course, but they joined the course that I was on to help these young moms. And now being launched in Cape Town, South Africa, I just keep saying, you know, as many times as I get a chance to be in front of a camera or get a chance to be on a platform, it's not really to boast about none of the things that God has given me. It's not about the books or the accolades. It's not about any of those things. It's about showing someone, whether you have the support or not having the support. If God told you to do something and it's really ordained by him, no matter who it is or what it is, it's going to continue to take the course that it needs to take. And so even like right now, we're all stuck inside the house. We're all, you know, we're closed in. We're only going out when we need to. Like I go out 2 days ago when I ran out because some girls needed some baby items. So I went to the office, got baby items together. We've been doing food boxes. And so in the midst of this, I'm like, God, is this really, am I really staying the course now? Or what is it that you want me to do? Well, in the midst of this, now he's saying, you're building a medical empire. I'm like, okay, what that looks like. I haven't used my medical degree in almost 7 years. And so he said, you know, you're connecting to these ladies in Georgia, and this is what's about to happen. So in the last 4 to 5 days, the downloads that I've been getting now is staying the course exactly where he want me, but is also linking with other power players. And so that really set home for me while we're sitting in this house. Don't use your time to whine, is what I tell my kids. Let's not whine about the fact that we're stuck at home, because there's people right now that don't even have a home to stay stuck in. There's people right now that don't even have food on their tables or don't know where they're going to sleep during this virus outbreak. So be grateful for where you are and what you have going on. Like the ladies that have spoken before me has said, we got to find something in the midst of what's going on that's going to keep us moving forward. And so writing the vision and making it plain and understanding, don't just write a vision of something you think you want to do. If you're actually using the time to write that vision, it should be something you are sure you're going to do. It should be something that is stirred inside of you on a daily basis. For Mothers of Mothers, as you can see, is behind me on my wall in my kitchen. You know, I can't turn it off. It's always a reminder that, you know, we got to stay the course and we got to continue to move forward. We got to continue to do what it is that we're supposed to be doing. And I'm just honored and glad to even be on this platform with the women that I'm on the platform with today. Just knowing that we all found a way to stay our own personal courses, but in the midst of that, helping other women learn how to win. As a coach, I teach women all the time, like, okay, what is it that you think about? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you're trying to accomplish in your life? Okay, let's sit down and write those things out. Okay, if it's a dream that you have, God has also given me an ability to write a business plan overnight. I don't know where that came from. I just know it has to be God, because someone can call me and say, this is what I'm trying to do, but I don't really know how to interpret it and put it on paper. And within 24 hours, I can give them a business plan, or at least a drawn out idea of what it is that they're supposed to be doing. So I know creating this empire and building this brand that we're building in Georgia is literally to take you to your next level. It's giving you a skill, teaching you the skill, maintaining the skill with you. And then the goal is to help you be able to turn that skill into a business within the next 5 years. So that's what I'm currently doing. That's what I've been doing. And it's really not too much that I can draw out other than just make sure that you're using this time to go back and look at notes and look at things that you may have wrote down a year ago or 2 years ago and pull that stuff back out, start looking at it, start revisiting it, because really that's what I feel we're supposed to be doing in this time right now. We shouldn't just be sitting in the house eating and watching television. Right now, you should be in your birthing room. You should really be going through your first, second, and third trimester by the time they allow us to get on the outside of our door. By the time you get on the outside of your door, you should already have at least come to your third trimester. And if you need help with getting to your third trimester, you can definitely reach me on all of my social media handles. Behind me is my website. You can go to my website and just shoot me an email or shoot me a message, and I would definitely do a 30-minute free call with you to help you figure this out. My book, Finding Your Purpose, Passion, and Planning It Out, is like a journal. I've had so many testimonies of people that have really figured out what it is that they want to do. And so just doing that. And again, thank you, Talisha. I'm so honored to be on here. I never use the whole time because I'm so winded. I can just say so much. And so if you give me the mic, I'm going to end up keeping it. So I'm going to pass it back to our host just because I want to get a chance to use this actual time to take notes like I've been doing for the rest of the women. But I want to leave with this. It's just like going into your kitchen, and sometimes you don't know what you're actually about to cook, but you go in there and cook something anyway. That's the same with your vision and your purpose. Sometimes you don't know exactly where God is trying to take you, but just think about it, get started, and it's going to become something amazing. And so always remember, there's naysayers and there's people that's going to think differently about what it is that God wants you to do. But if I would have thought that way at 23 years old, when he birthed a childcare business in me, and he birthed a nonprofit organization that's now helping, 77,000 girls in Cape Town, South Africa, and continuing to grow in the States, then I would really just be sitting on my couch, not doing anything either. So continue to understand, stay in your course is the best way to move forward, to become the best entrepreneur or the best CEO or the best mother, or whatever it is that you're called to do. You can become the best if you just stay the course. And I thank you guys so much.